Well, thank you for supporting the alternative to Games Workshop. I have my Crusaders in Space situation with my Space Templars with laser swords, and I am a Catholic, and so I'm unabashedly pro-Crusade, pro-male, as a male, and so quite the opposite of what Games Workshop has turned into over these last few years and where they're heading. Now, there's a new report out showing that this female Custodes situation is even dumber than we expect it to be, that it's literally just a virtue signal to the point where they did screw up the lore intentionally. They are gaslighting fans intentionally just for a stupid virtue signal that's not even going to move any kind of needle whatsoever. And if this rumor's true, these companies are just so dumb. They turn off their fans for the dumbest reasons. They just disrespect their properties. And I try not to do that. I try to do the opposite over here. We're kind of just getting started, so I don't have a lot of established lore in my worlds like the Saga of the Nano Templar here. But, what happens is I get a lot of feedback from my readers, and they say, you know what, I really liked this, and I try to remember that, and I try to incorporate it into future works. That's how you treat your customers with respect, you would think. But these companies don't do that anymore. They hate you. They want to replace you with a different customer base. I mean, it's really a cynical system. Games Workshop, comic books, video games, they're all in this cycle at this point where they think, you know what, these people have a habit of buying Warhammer 40K stuff. You're blowing $3,000 to $5,000 a year on new figure sets and codexes, and because you're so loyal, basically, they're like, you know what, we don't have to appeal to them. They're just going to buy it anyway. And so we're going to go appeal to this black, trans, lesbian, whatever, and try to make them feel seen, in the process, turn you off because you're going to buy anyway. So we'll just do that. Now, it gets even stupider when it comes to Games Workshop right now. There's a leak, allegedly, and if this leak holds true, this is the dumbest virtue signal I've maybe ever seen. And for them to blow the goodwill of their customer base over what they're doing is even more ridiculous than I thought. My name is John Delarose. I'm a #1 best-selling author, award-winning comic creator, and of course the editor and in-chief, not and-chief, I'll fix it in edit, guys, of Fandom Pulse, my pop culture news website. Make sure to bookmark Fandom Pulse. The link's in the description below. And this is my Justified Saga of the Nano Templar novel, which is available on Amazon right now. We sold a ton yesterday, so thank you so much for coming in on this, and people who are new and reading. I really appreciate you guys, and I do listen to you guys. So I'm going to put this link again in the description below at the top in case you missed it yesterday. It's a good read. If you like Warhammer, if you like Dan Abnett writing especially, I think you'll really, really enjoy this. So let's take a look at what's happening with Warhammer, allegedly, right here. This comes from Elder Mark on Twitter X, whatever it's called these days. And he posts here from an anonymous insider who says this: female Custodes are only going to be mentioned in the Codex, so they are literally only manipulating the lore with this. There's nothing else to it, according to this post. No new sculpts of characters after the fact. Social media department jumped the gun, tried to put out fires with the wrong hose. The intent is to push female Custodes character in the Amazon TV show without it breaking lore, because the Amazon execs wanted a woman in power armor and wouldn't settle for an SOB. Wow. And I could actually see this being very true because, I mean, this is what Amazon, Netflix, Disney wants to do. They want to have the strong female lead in their show every single time. And so if they are trying to make Amazon, quote, more faithful to Warhammer, this would make sense for them to do this. But again, at the expense of their own brand, without even selling anything involved in this. People involved in the show are pissed because they've been moving ahead on Eisenhorn. Talks of inserting said female Custodes into Eisenhorn's story with Cavill, Henry Cavill that is, threatening to walk away from the project. Small stock drop today, but Games Workshop figures they can write it out if it stays mum on the subject. They really need better social media employees. Cavill will be in an article due to heading to Games Workshop to work on the new series in the next week or next. If he leaves, it'll be a noticeable hit on the share price, meaning the show is dead or Amazon is calling the shots. You can trust me, my dad works at Nintendo. And so there's a lot here. The deal in the first place is super fragile. Nothing was inked when Cavill announced it, and everyone at Games Workshop went into a panic. Shareholders were put an immediate stop to any work till the contract was hammered out, and negotiations were brutal. If it could impact profits on the minis, Games Workshop didn't want to touch it, which is why the Custodes thing was a dumpster fire. People who should have known about it didn't, and successes or not, people are going to be let go. This is very, very interesting. And there's a lot of comments on this, where there's a lot of answers being spoken by this alleged leaker from Games Workshop. So TLDR, as is posted here, they're not supporting it all. It's just an Amazon forced thing, which is really, really crazy if this is true. Now, the other weird part about this, Henry Cavill threatening to walk away from 40K show if they force him to include a token female Custodes in the Eisenhorn series, or other such DEI changes. He might have caused the situation on accident because he leaked the show before the paperwork was finalized. Very interesting stuff if this is all due to the Amazon show and this is some weird Amazon manipulation of the situation. Now, we've seen the crazy reactions across the board from the wokeites trying to pretend like they're actual fans of Warhammer 40K, which we know they're not. I mean, they're one. Let's be honest. Let's just be upfront and honest with each other here. Women don't play war games, and I mean, and I'm gonna get a few comments. I do. You know what I mean, and you know that if you do, you're a complete outlier and not like a normal woman. There's no way to make Warhammer appeal to women at all. I guess you could make a Barbie faction, but this is all part of a big DEI BlackRock replacement in order to try to just get rid of gender in general, and it's part of a depopulation scheme for the world because they want to make everybody these androgynous, asexualized beings so that humans don't have replacement levels of population, and we know this at this juncture. So all of this is all coordinated at that level, and whether it's done through the Amazon version of it, whether it's done directly through Games Workshop, the end result is the same for us. But this is pretty wild if Games Workshop really just bungled this hard and screwed up and did their whole, it's always been that way lies and started blocking fans over something that they just are throwing as a throwaway piece of lore for the Amazon show. That is really even a wilder, dumber thing they could have possibly done in this entire situation. Now, the media, of course, has gone full shill, and we showed that yesterday in our video on how they're attacking you as bigots for just disagreeing with what's happening here and disagreeing with what's going to come out of this. And you just got to hold the line. Don't apologize. Don't try to defend yourself. Just say, you know what? Screw you. You are ruining the lore, and you are ruining everything about Warhammer, and we're going to punish anybody who is part of this Games Workshop woke nonsense with speaking with our wallets, and that's it. You don't have to explain yourself further than that. I loved the comments yesterday on my video. I had a couple that were like, it's not that we're not bigots. We're totally bigots, and we care about the lore. I mean, that's pretty based. So thank you for those. Those made me laugh quite a bit. And, these are supposed to be fun. This is a game that's supposed to be fun, and you are the target demographic for this. You are the target audience for this. Wargaming it's mostly a white male thing, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with you being a white male, and there's nothing wrong with you wanting something that just does honor to what it has been in the past because it was something that you enjoyed either. So don't let anybody gaslight you on this sort of thing. I know that social pressure can get pretty overwhelming, and you can get caught up in these internet wars and the like, but the only people who lose from this are really Games Workshop. And if they're going to bow towards Amazon executive producers, and if it's going to rock a deal with Henry Cavill, oh my gosh, this is going to explode even bigger than we even thought it was over the last few days. This isn't going to be about mini sales. I mean, miniature sales are one thing, but these deals for these TV shows with Amazons are like bring a company to the next level or not. So I will be very interested to see what Henry Cavill says in the next upcoming weeks. We'll be interested to see what Amazon does in the potential Warhammer 40K series that they're developing. and whether this implodes or as a prospect, because wow, this could really light a fire like we've never seen before. What do you think about this? Are these leaks seem accurate to you? If you're involved in Warhammer, want to hear from you. Hit the like and subscribe button. And of course, check out my Justified Saga of the Nano Templar. Really appreciate you guys for being there. We'll be back soon.